Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. We'll call the Plainfield Township Board to order. Supervisor Coleman is absent tonight. I need a motion for a president pro tem for tonight's meeting.
Move to nominate. Sue Morrow for president pro tem for tonight's meeting.
Second.
Jack first, and a third by Kathy. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Sue, take the chair. You're not done.
Thank you for the opportunity to share our meeting with you, with everyone. This is the regular meeting of the Plainfield Charter Township Board. I will ask for the invocation by Trustee Reminga and then stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing this group together in a country where we can meet freely and we can express our views and all get along and go home and still say hi to each other on the street. That's important. We live in one of the freest countries ever, and we beseech you, Lord, to cover us with your blood and protect us and cover us as we go home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
Of the United States of America and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is public comments. If you have subjects that you'd like to bring to the board's attention that are not on the regular agenda, please plan to come up here to the, that speaker over there. Is the light on? Thank you. And we'll ask you to please give us a name and address. The comments from the public are limited to 3 minutes, and it is not a discussion back and forth. It's a statement that you would like to make to the board. Is there anyone who'd like to be recognized in public comments? Leanne?
My name is Luann Larson. I live at 4636 Weber Avenue Northeast. And I'm bringing to the attention, when we get our property assessments, it's in late February. And when I got my assessment this past year, on the bottom part of the notification, it said that we could call the board and make reservations to come and talk. Well, it said February 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. And I got my notice on February 26th. Is there any other way that the assessments can be given to us sooner than that?
Thank you. We'll check into that.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to be recognized? We'll move on with the agenda for this evening. The consent agenda. Are there any comments or questions from board members regarding the subjects on the consent agenda? A motion would be in order.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda, including the consent agenda and the accounts payable.
And a support from
Second it.
Mr. Reminga. Or roll call vote from our clerk, please.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow,
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mr. Pfaff,
Yes.
Mr. Reminga,
Yes.
Ms. Beatty.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on with the rest of the agenda. We have a public hearing tonight to consider a rezone request. The comments first will come from the public, and we'll open the public hearing now at 6:05. Again, the rules are the same, that this is not a there's a little more discussion on this subject, but the 3-minute limit still remains. Is there anyone who would like to make any comments about the subject of the rezone request? Go ahead. Please come up. Please give us your name and address.
All right, good evening. Bear with me, I'm losing my voice, but my name's Steve Mishlak, 4071 Crow Street Northeast. Just wanted to share a statement I prepared. My physical home is closest to the property line of this development, and the homes in the development will be placed closest to our property line. I'm concerned about how abrupt this transition will be for our neighborhood and my home. As the development is proposed, the high-density portion of this development is placed right along our property line. The other homes around this development were given much more consideration with the undeveloped and proposed walking path to the north and the lower density plan and retaining pond closest to the neighboring property and home on the west side of the development. There's little to no natural privacy between our property and the development, and I'm concerned about how this will impact the privacy of my family's home. I will say Howie was willing to meet with me and discuss options to mitigate my concerns, which I'm very grateful for. He did not have to meet with me, but was willing to make the time and respectfully discuss my concerns. He shared that it was unfortunately late in the game when we met last month and difficult to change any of their overall plans. He did share that he would make the following changes to help support the privacy of our property line. Discussed 8 to 10 foot evergreens, 6 to 7 per building, and 1 to 2 canopy trees, which was increased from the initial design. Early installation of screen trees as part of phase 1, which would allow 2 to 3 years of additional growth before construction of buildings along the shared property line. Adding a 6-foot white vinyl fence along the shared property line between the new trees and the property. Make efforts to lower the grade of the road and finish floor elevations of buildings along shared property line. I'm grateful for these proposed changes and want to ensure that they are submitted as part of the approved plan. The changes that we did not agree upon were changing the location of the high-density portion of the development to the middle to help mitigate the impact of all sides of the development, or changing the unit type along our property line to single-story. Although I understand that moving the high-density units to the middle of the development would impact a lot of the infrastructure plans, I still think it is reasonable to change the 2-story 4-plex units planned along the east side of the development with a ranch-style 3-plex that they offer in the ravines. This could likely be done without changing the infrastructure plans such as the roads and the utilities. This would mitigate some of the abruptness and will take place as it is currently planned, and I feel that it would be a good overall compromise. Currently, there is a motion to approve the increase from 96 units to 103. If the design went from the 8 2-story units to the ranch 3-plex units, this would reduce the overall units back in line with what is appropriate for the area, bringing the total back to 95. This would also preserve natural features and make it more harmonious with the surrounding community. The development team did not feel that this was feasible because of the cost and time to redo their sales and marketing plans. However, I feel this is still possible if the board chooses to support this change and plan, as the high-density portion of this development is not slated to take place until the last phase of the project, approximately 2 to 3 years out. Again, thanks to Howie for the time to meet with me, and thanks to the board for your consideration and hearing my concerns. My family and I are gracious for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to make comments?
Good evening. My name is Nathan Sharp, and my family lives at 7640 Luca Vista, directly next to the Crows.
Please speak a little bit louder into the microphone.
You got it.
Start over with your name and address, please.
Got it, absolutely. My name is Nathan Sharp, and my family and I live at 7640 Luca Vista. We're directly next to the Crows property. My main request is that the wooden open space behind Luca Vista be permanently protected as shown on the PUD, and that the walking trail remain a simple, unlit path located as far as reasonably possible from our existing homes. I also urge the board to address traffic impacts in parallel with the development, not afterward. The township's own traffic study already rates Crows and Northland as level F during peak hours, and adding over 100 new homes will make that worse. These issues need to be part of the approved conditions now, not deferred to a later phase. Thanks for your time and consideration.
I think I saw another hand. Someone else want to be recognized? Okay, we'll close the public hearing and move to the board members. Shall we have? Head to staff. Who's, Peter, is this going to be your presentation?
It will be.
Okay, this is Peter Elam, and he's our senior planner.
Welcome, everybody. The Crows Farm, as many people know it, the applicant is GRI Leasing, is coming to redevelop it with a mixed-use PUD. The current zoning is R1 and R1C, and they want to go to a planned unit development with 103 units. 49 of those will be single-family homes, 14 detached townhomes, and 10 four-unit condominiums. As Mr. Michelet said earlier, the condominiums are kind of focused on the eastern edge of this property. The townhomes would be more towards the center, and to the west would be the single-family homes going back into the open space area. At the September 23rd, 2025 meeting, the PC forwarded a favorable recommendation to you. The public comments were generally along the lines of what we've already heard, but had to do with traffic, setbacks, landscaping, housing types, open space, as you've heard, trails and design layout. Some of those we've addressed within the staff report where we could. Others are more going to be related to site plan approval, and some of them are discussion items for tonight. In terms of meeting the requirements for a PUD, as you well know, we have a lot of criteria built into there, but they do meet the primary ones right up front of unified control of the property, minimum acreage, site design elements, and consistency with the master plan, which calls for a blend of housing types in this area of, country residential and suburban residential, as well as trying to hit on the missing middle housing out there that we so badly need in this community. In addition, issues that would be of discussion would be the character. Does it fit the character of the surrounding area? It is a bit more dense, but in doing so, it helps preserve more of these more sensitive areas near the Rogue River. Preservation, as Mr. Sharp discussed, there's a large preservation area of property. This is governed by a master deed and spelled out in our PUD ordinance what has to happen in there. It'll be permanently protected in perpetuity again in a master deed and with a walking trail through it. In addition to that, traffic was brought up. We did contact the King County Road Commission in this matter. They are the premier authority on that. Well, it does impact the intersections that are already poorly functioning during school hours primarily and rush hour. They did not find that this particular project would have a significant impact by itself on those particular areas. In addition to that, they are furnishing 2 exits, so if traffic does get backed up on Brewer, they'll have another alternate out on the eastern edge of the property. This property will be serviced by a lift station, if I recall correctly. There is one big thing out there that's part of this request that's beyond the norm. They are asking for a density bonus going from 96 units that they can possibly have to 103. We can do this, you can do this, if they meet certain standards in the provisions of their site plan. In this case, staff did review it. Our findings were is that they preserved the best natural features of the site. They created a continuous area where they're protecting wildlife habitat and providing open space for residents, as well as doing better design and than you would get with a comparison plan. Sometimes we used to call it cluster development. That's kind of what you're seeing here. Those are staff's comments. If you have any questions for me, please let me know.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Board members' comments? Let's start with you, Kathy.
I was just curious, the size of the natural area and the percentage of what this is. Sorry,
bl-
it may have been in my notes and I didn't see it.
I'd have to verify with Howie because I don't remember right off the bat, but I thought it was 24 or 40 acres. I know the detention pond is in there too, so it skews it a little bit. It's not included. Yep. Yep.
Any more comments, Kathy? No. Okay, thank you. Frank?
I'm all set, thanks.
Mr. Hagedorn?
Well, I find the density is reasonable. Met all the requirements for the PUD. We do need housing. That's no secret to anybody. And the traffic, I find most traffic studies will approve things, and many times they're reactive instead of proactive. So it's one of those things. So I think we're fine for now with that. So I have no problems.
Thank you. Mr. Ramminga?
Who's the developer on this?
It's the same people that did the ravines at Inwood there, JTB, but this is under a GRI licensing, and the property owners, I got a gentleman named DJ Vanderslick.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool. The one question I had, backing up a little bit, this gentleman's concerned with
Yeah.
trees or some sort of barrier. Is there something that
Thank you for bringing it up. I
we can do
neglected
for
to
him?
mention that. So what we did recognize that. Howie Harrer from GRI went out and met with him, I think at least twice. They came to an agreement in general concept about putting a fence and some berming and some extra trees along that property line to help screen that. We built that into the ordinance to amend. The reason we did that is it gives us a general idea of what needs to be done in there, but still gives us the flexibility when the rubber hits the road to deal with the site as we see it when it develops. So, in a nutshell, what we're going to do is, if you are inclined to approve this, then they have to come back to the planning commission for site plan approval, and then we'll address the narrower details on that at that time. But it's covered in the ordinance to amend.
Thank you.
Does that answer all your questions? Absolutely. Okay, great. Mr. McKellar?
Most of my questions have been answered. I just wanted to say that I commend that the developer and the owner and our staff got together and hammered out. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, sir. His concerns and working with them.
Thank you. I, too, did a lot of reading on this project. Thank you to our planning commission for all the work that you put into this. A couple of the questions that came up with was an addition to our public water. And I know that that's not a problem, but it's an awareness that we're having. And I'm glad that it's on page 6 that they made comments and paid attention to the fact that they're gonna, all these units are going on public water. I also asked Peter today if there was any kind of connection between the development and the school, because once upon a time, we had a walk-to-school group, and we tried very, very hard to make it safe for children to be able to walk to school. And the setting for this development is just perfect for children to be able to walk to school if that's their desire and if it's safe enough. And so I'm hoping Peter's comments to me were that that's probably something that would fall into the responsibility of the school. And so I think that we'll just let that concern rest, okay? Any more questions, discussions? This is a very long motion. Do I hear a motion? No.
I move that the Township Board approve the ordinance to amend to rezone 3950, 4007, and 4,025 Crow Street as described in the concept plan from R1B to R1C and R1C residential to PUD plan unit development based on the following findings of fact. Number one, the proposed PUD complies with the intent and purpose and all qualifying conditions of sections 28.01 and 28.02 of this chapter, except as otherwise expressly provided. Number two, the increased density from 96 units to 103 units for a residential PUD is appropriate for this plan. Number three, the proposed rezoning is based on market-driven development principles and a well-documented need for housing in the township and beyond. Number four, the proposed rezoning is consistent with the Plainfield Charter Township Comprehensive Plan. Number five, the proposed rezoning will be harmonious with the character of the adjacent property, the surrounding uses of the land, and the natural environment, and will not be hazardous to the surrounding community. Number six, the proposed rezoning meets the intent and purpose of the township zoning ordinance and provides for a better design than under traditional zoning. Number seven, the proposed project can be served by public utilities and other public services. Number eight, to the best of staff's knowledge, the rezoning satisfies all applicable local, state, and federal statutes and regulations. Number nine, the rezoning is further supported by those reasons set forth by members of the Township Board, Planning Commission, staff, and applicants as reflected in the entire meeting record on this matter.
That was the motion. Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Pfaff? And the clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Morrow.
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mr. Pfaff?
Yes.
Mr. Erminga?
Yes.
Ms. Beatty?
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, the subject of the 2026 budget.
Okay,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
do a presentation and then you can open it up. So this is our last take of 6 months of process here on the budget. We've held 2 workshops on this. We've also held a separate board meeting discussion where we set the millage rate for next year. All of that's behind us. We're to final adoption. The biggest change between the budget in front of you tonight and what you have saw at the last workshop, since that time, the state did come back with their revised budget and revised spending plan that cut our revenue, and initially it looked very significantly. Later iterations have come out. It's still a significant cut, but not quite as bad as the 400,000 that was initially projected. But enough that the biggest change in here is a reduction in our road funding for next year, looking at a change from 750,000 down to 500,000. And that's somewhat taking a cautious approach, right? We don't know exactly how all of this will play out. That's really the one area that we can make a cut without affecting operations short term, right? So it does have long-term impact. Any decline in investment in our road network has that long-term effect that we're not maintaining it. If we continue that at that rate, we will see problems. However, if we can bring that back up to the amount we've been at for a number of years now, as early as the following year, we should be okay to survive that, especially since a couple years ago when we had some extra federal dollars, we put those into our road network. So it kind of all balances out in the end, but we don't want to fall behind. But it really is the only way to make a quick and significant cut to our budget without laying off staff. And honestly, that would start with firefighters, because as much as they're critical to our community safety, when I look at all of our staffing, it's one of the larger staffing areas that we have that would have the most flexibility. But even that has long-term impacts too. If we were to say make a short-term decision to lay off staff, that has long-term effects too, right? We lose out on that ability to train and bring up new staff to fill positions as they become available. So fortunately, we can avoid all that with this year's budget, but it doesn't mean that there's not significant impacts when the state plays with revenue to say, look at us, we've solved a problem just by stealing from someone else. So, which is really what they did here. We'll see how it all shakes out over the year. If it looks like our revenue is stronger than we anticipated, we always can go back and talk with the road commission about increasing our road funding for next year. So that is something that's still on the table. I have talked with Jerry Byrne at the road commission about this, so he is aware that this was what we were thinking, and so they are aware that we may do a reduction for this year, but we have that potential to bring it back. So that's really the largest change. Other things, Adam has gone through the budget and has worked out numbers that were refined since August, which was the first time we looked at the general fund budget. So details have come in since then, and so he's been able to plug those in and balance it. So we have a balanced budget in front of you, but with one that we all recognize we have some revenue deficits, especially as it comes to ongoing maintenance costs. We have infrastructure that's showing its age, and infrastructure that people probably don't think about in terms of like parking lots. Parking lots are expensive to repave, but we have a number of them, including the one out here that's crumbling. And so when you start repaving parking lots of that size, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that adds up fast in the kind of budget that we're looking at. So we've pushed a lot of those things out as far as we can. You'll see patches in the asphalt. You'll see patches on the roof if you're able to go up on the roof. But we're getting through that and trying to make the most of the budget dollars we have. That's what I have.
Thank you. Board member comments? Mr. McKellar.
Appreciate the work that was done on this budget by the whole board the last 6 months. Now that we're at that point, the finish line for the budget, I think we need to make that next step to, like Cameron put out a lot of concerns there about infrastructure that we have. We need to find an additional revenues stream so we can continue to maintain our parking lots, our structures, our vehicles that we have throughout the township. I don't think our budgeting work is done tonight after we vote. I think it needs to continue year-round until we get this in funding. We need to be proactive instead of using doing patches on roofs and stuff like that. Just be proactive instead of reactive. So that's me. Yep.
Mr. Remiga?
Oh, nothing for me, thanks.
Mr. Hagedorn?
Thank you, Adam, for all your work that you did on the budget. It's kind of ironic, the state cut our funding so that they could give more to the county for roads, which is kind of weird. Different kind of roads, though. I want to echo the need for funding. You didn't mention this, Cameron, but I did note in the budget that we have a considerable amount for a fire truck that we'll have to portion out over multiple years, and the fire budget is it's 31% of our general fund budget, and it's a big expense, but a necessary one. So other than that, I'm fine with it.
Thank you. Mr. Pfaff?
The 500,000, that's matched by the state, correct?
By the county. So
By the county.
Kent County, and for those who are unaware, townships don't own the roads, so we just get the privilege of paying for them, right? But Kent County has been good to its locals over the years and has matched dollar for dollar. That's not true across the state. You may see more of that now with additional funds going to county road commissions where they may do more local match. But even then, I doubt most of them will be as generous as Kent County has been to us. So, yeah.
So we still have the match.
Yeah, so our $500,000 turns into $1 million of road work when it's all said and done.
And as far as infrastructure, we've talked about it a lot, and we know we have to, we're gonna have to make some hard decisions. So, thanks.
Beatty?
I'm just grateful for the process, that we did it in small stages, and we're at this point. And I, again, appreciate, let me reiterate, what Adam's work on this. is daunting, to me anyway, so, and Cameron as well. So I'm good to go. Thank you.
I too want to thank both of you for the work that you put into it. It's quite an interesting process to bring all of us in and with all of our staff and have that discussion publicly of what's on people's mind and where we're going, and still maintain the same millage that we've had for 10 years. Of course, we got extra money there for a little while, and we didn't think about having to raise the millage, but we've always been very proud of the fact that we've held that millage for a long time, but it may be catching up with us a little bit. I believe that is all of my concern. I did notice that about the road contribution going down from 750,000 to 500,000, and it is, I think that's the quickest way to solve the problem, but it's not solved the problem. Okay. Any other comments from the board? A motion would be in order.
I move that we approve the 2026 budget as presented.
Second?
And a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Pfaft,
Yes.
Mr. Remminga,
Yes.
Ms. Beatty,
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow,
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Motion carried.
Thank you very much. And the next subject is the new and better use of the healthcare program.
Thank you. So we've worked over the years to try to keep health insurance costs reasonable, and from an employer standpoint, usually the best way to do that is to shop different carriers. We are locked into certain levels of service with our union contracts, which has ultimately kind of led us to competing between basically two different carriers, between Priority and Blue Cross. And we made the switch last year back to Priority from Blue Cross. And usually when it happens, you don't get a quote from the other carrier the following year. It's kind of both of them have that policy. They don't want us playing the game that we're playing, right? Shopping back and forth between them. And so we're stuck with Priority, and we had a 9.26% increase, even though a review of our actual utilization showed that we're not on track to even exceed what our premium was this year, right? So our utilization is less than 100%, and we're still getting a 9.26% premium increase. We think we've found a better path, not just for next year, but going forward. A year ago, we started looking at the option of a self-funded plan, and self-funded means that instead of handing over our entire premium amount to the insurance company on day one, we only pay them for the actual utilization. So in this case, Priority Health would remain our third-party agent, meaning they're still processing all of our claims, they're still pricing out services with the providers, they're still doing all those things from an employee standpoint. They hand over their Priority card as insurance, just as they do today. But the difference is, instead of us handing them a contracted amount, they'll process those bills, send us a regular payment amount. We'll pay them that much, and assuming there's a savings to be had, those savings are kept by the township. So beneficial for township and employees, because employees do pay 20% of the premium amount. So collectively, we're looking to keep those costs as low as possible. The other advantage too, year after year, where we would, under this structure, set up a separate fund. So the amount that you would approve tonight would go into a fund. Hopefully, we would not use that entire amount, but it will be there in case that we need it. Whatever remains would carry over to the next year, hopefully then keeping our costs lower as we go along. So any savings would be retained and applied to future years. So we think this is a good model for us based on recent usage of our insurance plan by our employees. We've had a healthy group of people. We hope that remains for many reasons, not just for cost reasons, but for also the health of our employees. But from a perspective of a health insurance policy, if we can continue to have low utilization, we can see savings from that and really reap the reward of that savings, as opposed to giving that reward over to the insurance company. So that's the proposal in front of you tonight. The second piece, just to explain it, there's a resolution there, which is an opt-out. this is a state law that was enacted, 2011. And basically, this is, we mostly kind of sort of comply with an 80-20. And by that, the plan design doesn't perfectly match what the state wants. So we do the opt-out just because our plan isn't fully conformed with the state's 80-20 rule. And so they do provide townships with the option to just opt out of that, in which we do each year. So that's what I have.
Good. Any questions from people in the audience? Moving on with board members' questions. Kathy?
I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Or they
Frank?
have been answered, I should say.
Oh, good. Frank?
All set. Hope we can save, some money.
All set.
Mr. Remiga?
No, I like this idea. I have regular priority health, and they're excellent, by the way. And doing it this way makes total sense.
Jack?
It's interesting, about 25 years ago, as finance director of Allendale Township, I looked into this very thing. Unfortunately, the insurance companies were not set up to handle catastrophic medical for you and also to handle the administrative part of it. So we didn't do it, and I'm glad that they're able to do that now because that's a good help to us.
And my comments was that I think that the fact that we can continue to roll over what is not used, at the end of the year with the insurance companies, we end up with nothing. So I was very happy to hear that we could roll it over. A motion would be in order.
I make a motion for the approval of the self-funded health insurance plan with Priority Health, serving as the third-party administrator and creation of a separate township health insurance fund as presented.
And a support?
Support.
And the roll call vote, please.
Mr. Remiga,
Yes?
Ms. Beatty,
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow,
Yes,
Mr. McKellar, yes, Mr. Pfaft.
Yes.
Motion carried.
thank you. Superintendent's comments.
Okay, a few notes. First, just an organizational note. After we wrap up here, I recommend we just take a short recess. And then thank you, Planning Commission members, for joining us. We'll let folks kind of clear out of the room. We'll set up the tables so we can all sit around tables together. So we'll pull chairs aside. We'll have to restart this meeting. The Planning Commission will have to start their meeting, and then we'll have a joint closed session. So for the public, we'll go into a closed session, which means you'll have to leave the room. No action is planned after that. So as soon as that closed session is done, the meeting will be over. So that will be directly following the board comments here. A couple other things. We do have a new agenda software. I didn't hear too many complaints other than a document that we had to correct. The budget document didn't print out correctly, and so we were able to fix that. For those that haven't had a chance to look at it yet, it should have a lot of similarities to, I'm going to flip back to our old system here, had, when I would pull it up on the screen, would have the agenda on the side, and I could click on whatever attachment we wanted to look at, and it would come up. We have the same setup, if I can find it, same setup here. So we have the agenda on the side, and I can pull up the items, so you can do this as you're going through it too. As I've explained in the past, a board packet is not a novel, it's a reference document, right? And so this is that setup, so you can pull up whatever item that you want at whatever time you want to look at it without having to scroll through a 200-page document and trying to find that page you were looking for. So play around with it, let me know any feedback. We do have some flexibility on how some things are set up or positioned in here. But so far, we're happy with this. This is part of the new website that we'll be rolling out next spring. This is a piece that we could get into place earlier and transition over our agenda preparation. For those that are signed up for meeting notices, you should have received a meeting notice for the new software. We copied over everyone's email from one to the other. If you haven't signed up for it, from the Township's website, you can pick one of these options. The agendas and minutes should take you right to it. And it looks like this. This is the new format. Or if you want to sign up, you can think, sign up through, okay, that takes you to the same spot. So I guess I haven't figured out where this sign up is for that yet. It's in the upper right corner where it says sign in? That's it?
Our-
Sign in and sign up?
Our
Okay.
communication specialist is in the back of the room. We appreciate you, Krista.
So a key element, when our new website is ready, this calendar for our agendas will integrate into the township's general website, which it doesn't today. We use two different services today, and so they don't tie together nicely. So the calendars will integrate into one into the other, so that would be a nice feature as well. The last note I have, tomorrow is Veterans Day. So thank you, veterans, for your service and anyone who's in active service. So we applaud you for your efforts. That's all I have.
Thank you. A motion to move into closed session, is that? where we- Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped right over that. Board comments, Mr. Hagedorn,
I'm fine, thank you.
Mr. Reminga,
No comment.
Mr. McKellar.
Y'all know we had an election on last Tuesday. Went well. Got home before midnight, which was good. I beat my curfew my wife put down, so. But we were above average on voter turnout for a non-gubernatorial or non-presidential election, which was really good. Everything went smooth, a couple computer glitches here and there, but my deputy clerk, Tina, was on that, which made things run very smooth. I'd like to thank all our workers that came back, our election workers. We had about 80 of them throughout the precincts and the accounting and receiving board. I'd just like to thank their awesome work and dedication that they do. Without them, elections would not be possible. And if anybody in the audience wants to be part of the elections and help, come see us.
Good job. And also, wasn't it fun to have two different ballots? One for the
Yes.
people in the Rockford part of
Yep.
Plainfield and one for the people that just voted for the Kent County. Kathy?
Yes, first of all, I don't like the font on this. You asked for feedback, I don't like that font. So, I like the other font better, but this I'm not care for. Not that it even matters, but let me not only recognize the veterans for Veterans Day tomorrow, but the Marines are 250 years old today. We celebrate them, we honor them, we are indebted to them.
Thank you. And Mr. Pfaff?
All set, thank you.
Just a couple of things. George Meek, who was a township supervisor and trustee, died about 2 weeks ago. We didn't get notice of his passing until the day before the funeral, so it was very hard to catch up with enough people for the township to be represented at the funeral. But I did go, and the family was very appreciative of the life that he had led. And I have one copy of the bulletin that they used, if anybody wants a copy of it. I was pleasantly surprised with the contributions that Mr. Meek made in many, many different aspects in addition to Plainfield Township. And also with the veterans, I always like it. Maybe it's because I have the privilege of being the wife of a veteran, but I think those families and the wives ought to get a little bit of a chance to say thanks for putting up with all the things that go along with being in a family, a military family. And certainly thanks to the veterans too. Anyone else? Any comments? A motion to move into closed session would be in order?
Hold on. Why
Oops.
don't you take a recess and we'll take that motion in a little bit.
Okay,
So let's just call a recess.
okay. What do I say?
Call a recess.
Okay. We're in recess. I've never had to call a recess.